welcome to another episode of Improving Mindsets, Making You a Better You. I am Popola Jalesola, your host and media literacy educator, seeking to make us all into better versions of ourselves and aiding us to reverse the damage that the media has inflicted in our lives that most of us are not aware of and are probably navigating with any sort of knowledge whatsoever, without any sort of knowledge whatsoever. Now, I'd like to start with my favorite quote from the Bible, which is, "People perish for a lack of knowledge," which means that what you do not know literally has the potential of, destroying a person's life because you do not know a certain thing. So now, because I've been given this certain agenda to educate people on how, on how to become media literate in order to stop these negative media influences from continuing to adversely affect our society. I mean, if you look around, the effects are already everywhere, really. But at least now we're working to reverse, any sort of damage that might have been done already and helping the younger ones. So let's get right into it, right? This is the second part of another series because I started that last week, and which is called, reversing, proposing media literate solutions, reversing the negative effects of media. So this is a proposal that I wrote to, secondary schools actually, and that is where I'm taking the list from. So like I said before in the last video, this is not actually a full list. The list of issues we're having from the media is actually more than, this contains. But at least we're going to take it one by one, so at least we have some groundwork. It's not everything, but at least we are, covering something. If you want to find out more about being media literate, anyways, you can visit my website at worldmedialiteracy.wordpress.com. You can check out some of my other videos. You can contact me. I offer courses on media literacy, something we all need, and I believe it will become clearer with time just how much we need this. But for now, let's work on our videos. Let's work on handling these issues. So where we stopped the last time actually is video games causing desensitization and decline in cognitive abilities. Okay, so what are video games? Video games are also media. It's all media, whether you're playing, with a console, whether you're spending 2 hours, 3 hours, even 5 hours playing video games every single day, it is still something that, sorry for the break in transmission. So like I was saying, video games are also still media. You are still learning something. It is still, but it is basically a dumbed down version. Okay, you literally have people spending so much on video games and it's not benefiting your brain in any way. Like there's literally been research that proves that video games actually cause your cognitive abilities to decline over time. Like actually proves this. And yet you have children, young adults also, especially boys and men, some young men, spending all their time playing video games like they've got nothing better to do and they don't understand that it is a complete distraction. They do not understand that they are literally wasting their precious time that they will not get back. But they are, spending all the time playing video games because they think that is what is cool. They think that is what is in vogue or whatever. Wasting your time is in vogue, So it actually leads to a decline in cognitive abilities. It also causes a desensitization to violence. Now, all media promotes this actually, but video games have this, should I say, a heightened way of doing so, because you have video games of which people are literally shooting each other. Like that's what the game is about. Like literally killing each other is what an entire game, not just one game, multiple games is about. And that is what they want you to see as entertainment. That is what they want you to spend your time on and view as okay. So it is causing the desensitization to violence because, you are starting to see all these very horrible things, very dysfunctional things as normal. You're starting to see them as okay, as basically nothing. And that is absolutely wrong. Our mind should not be desensitized to violence in any way. So video games actually have a lot of issues. There's actually, I believe, was it in the UK or something, video game addiction was actually termed as an illness. Like they literally termed it under illnesses because it got to a point where kids were so addicted to video games that they literally can hardly do anything else. becoming a ridiculous state in our world, and we need to be aware and also let our children be aware as well, because so that they don't imbibe all these ridiculous things thinking that is normal and that is fine to do so. Anyways, so let's move on to the next one. Media's constant glorification of vacuous aspirations over aspirations of actual social benefit and improvement, portraying being famous as better than humanitarian exploits. Okay, so this is a loaded one, right? So I'm just going to break it down for you guys. So, like, media's constant glorification of vacuous aspirations. Now, what are vacuous aspirations? These are things that or careers that some people might aspire to, but does not really have a lot of social impact for good. Okay, like being a musician, like being an interior designer, like being what other vacuous aspiration could I think of? Like being a party planner. You're not really those aspirations don't really add value to our society, but you have, it has been glorified to a ridiculous extent. Like, okay, even football players, some people might come after me for this, I don't care, because I'm going to tell you the truth. Even football players, even basketball players, really all they do is portray a game that millions of people spend their lives fantasizing over, that does not actually impact them in any way. Like, so these are vacuous aspirations. Now, the media constantly glorifies these vacuous aspirations, like actors and actresses, examples of vacuous aspirations. They glorify those aspirations, those things, those careers, so-called, as what you should aspire to, as what is better than every other thing. They portray it over aspirations of actual social benefit. Now, what are aspirations of actual social benefit? Those are aspirations that actually impact our society for good, that actually have a long-lasting impact when embedded into our society. For example, you have the more common ones, like a doctor, like a lawyer, like an accountant. You have like a social worker. You have like a humanitarian worker. You have even a tailor. It is a career of social benefit. You have what do you call it? CEOs of amazing companies that are doing well, trying to impact the society for good. You have various meaningful careers that actually help our society by and large. Okay, for example, those who are doing humanitarian work, trying to help people all over the world, especially the poor parts of the world where people are suffering from hunger. People are dedicating their lives to take care of those people, and those are aspirations of actual social benefit. They're actually helping people. They're doing things that are benefiting other people. They're not just showing off for the camera. So they portray all these vacuous aspirations over aspirations of actual social benefit and improvement. They would rather portray you being an actress or an actor over you being, a humanitarian rights lawyer that fights for the rights of the people that have been, let's say, harmed in one way or another. They will portray you being an interior designer, just designing a house, just making it pretty, over, an aspiration. Okay, for example, let's say a doctor. They actually there's this particular movie that actually portrayed being a photographer as better than being a lawyer. They actually portray that. And that's what they want you to believe. Because they want you to spend your time, following around a fairy tale that is not real, that does not actually impact your society, which you live in, which we all live in, for better. They encourage you to be self-absorbed. Now, so yeah, they portray being famous as better than humanitarian exploits. And that's absolutely wrong. If I still need to say that at this point, like, being famous is not the most important thing the person should be looking after for their entire life. Like, the fact that I have to say that just shows how far gone we are as a society. Now, anyways, I believe cleared that to a certain extent. So moving on to the next one. So how social media overuse reconfigures the brain, social media triggering excessive amounts of dopamine, and the effects of children. Now, look, when it comes to social media, look, okay, I'm a media literacy expert, right? So I work on all media, right? But social media is, I mean, it's like this people, of course, it has its good sides as well, no doubt. But it's like this people just went into a lab and just sat down to say, how can we fuck up this society? Pardon my French. How can we mess up this society even more? It's like they sat down, they took their time to actually analyze how they could put their algorithms together to actually make our society more dysfunctional. Now, if you watch some of my other videos, you'll understand that Americans are the first victims of this, actually. They're the first victims. So, and over there, and I believe even to a certain extent here too, it is becoming more and more obvious just how opposite, what social media actually does versus what it's portrayed to do. One thing I've noticed with media messages is that they often portray the lie as the truth, right? So even when they name something, it's often ironic. Okay, so I believe even social media, even the name social media is ironic, because what it actually does is make us more disassociated from the world that we are actually in, and makes us spend our time in a phone connecting with people that are not even close to us, but we're ignoring those ones that are actually close to us, but we're claiming that we're connected. So it is ironic, because there's nothing social about that. You're on a dinner table with your family, you're busy pressing your phone, you said you're on social media, but the people that you're supposed to be socializing with are right there with you, but you're not socializing with them. You're busy inside your phone, because that's where they're telling you that social media is. I'm trying to make this video as short as possible, but if you do your own research, it shows there are multiple proofs that this is actually detrimental to our mental health. Multiple proofs. Okay? People's lives have been affected by this. Now, that does not mean that social media does not have its good side. But whatever it is that you consume will affect you. And social media is basically bombarded with all these toxic messages, toxic ideologies that they present to you in their write-ups and their skits, and they make it seem funny, but they're actually sending you something fucked up in the end. Pardon my French. So now let's move on to the next aspect of that. Social media triggering excessive amounts of dopamine in everybody, but it's especially detrimental to children. Okay? In everybody. Because what happens is, when you're on social media, when you get that like, when you get that follow, when you get that retweet, your brain releases dopamine, okay? And that is the chemical that makes us feel pleasure, that makes us happy, that makes us joyful. So your brain releases that dopamine, and it is a trigger for that. So people now become addicted to that feeling of, when they get their likes and when they get the, posts and all that. So they keep on going back, because they want that dopamine release. So it literally is addictive. Literally. So we need to understand this, and please, if you have a child less than 15 years old, don't let them have social media. Don't even, if they want a phone for assignments and stuff, you can give them that is the only reason that they should have phones. Because I know that the world wants you to think that, they are going to be left out. It's better that they are left out from rubbish. It's better that they are left out from things that will harm them, than for them to be connected to the wrong things. Do not let them be exposed to such crap so early, because children are, those years are the foundational years. Those are the formative years. Anything that you grab as whether good or bad at that stage can affect the rest of your life, and it will. Not can, it will. let us be aware. Let us gain more knowledge. Let us be aware. Let us become media literate. Try to become media literate. I can't say this enough. This is a God-given vision. Like, I can't overemphasize how important this is. Make your children media literate. Now, anyways, now let's move on to the next aspect. Now, how certain media messages try to create an aversion to learning and knowledge in children. Okay? Now, this is, in fact, it's so dangerous. Because, like I said before, people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And you are only as good as what you know. You can't be better than what you know. And no matter what you think you know, there's so much more to know than what you think you know. So knowledge is infinite. We are supposed to be continually learning every single time. You know. So the media, through their movies, through their songs, through their skits, through their crap that they formulate every single day, they create an aversion to learning and knowledge in children. I've literally seen a movie that shows people falling asleep when someone else is trying to teach them something. Now, that was intentionally constructed. They wrote that script like that. They intentionally shot it like that. So they show comedy with children that would rather have fun. Oh, I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. But when it comes to books, where are the books? Nowhere to be found. But I just want to have fun. They're trying to make children stupid. Everybody, actually. But they know that if they can get them at childhood, then the rest is easy. They know that if they can mess up their minds as when they are young, then it's basically over. Let us aid our minds. Let us aid our children. This problem is not going away. It's only going to get worse. You can be rest assured it's not going away. Because those that are behind it are making sure that it will never go away. So, encourage your children to learn more. Do not give them your phones, for God's sake. No matter how they cry, let them cry. Give them a book. Give them a book instead that will actually help their minds, and not let them be playing games that are dumbing down their IQs every single day. Encourage them to learn, not to be bothered with garbage. Now, moving on to the next episode, and this is going to be the last one for today's video. I guess we'll have to do a part 3, I guess. So, how some media content promotes unnecessarily violent actions at the least incentive. Okay? Now, this is because they're actually trying to promote violence as a natural reaction to anything. Like, somebody gets you upset. Now, instead of you to try to talk to the person, they want you to punch the person instead. They want you to think it's okay to slap the person instead. Like, to encourage a violent reaction at the least incentive, at the slightest provocation, become violent. That's what they want. That's what they want. This is the enemy's plan, in case it's not clear already, but it will get clearer. So they promote, you have movies, that just show somebody walking into a bar. Let's say the shoulder of this person hits the other person, and then he said, you want to try me? You want to try? Then less than 5 seconds, they're fighting already. And that is what they want you to see as normal. To engage in fights, to be violent, to be selfish, to be hypocritical. That's what they want you to see as normal. So we need to understand that we need to train these children that these things, that these movies, these images that they see that goes into their heart is not appropriate. Movies are images. We see them. What you see, what you hear, it affects you. They are called senses for a reason. They are called senses for a reason. It affects you. The eyes are the window to the heart. What you're watching is going into your heart. Whether you're watching it in real life or whether you're watching it through a screen, you are still watching it. You are still watching it. So let us be aware so we can gain some freedom. Because trust me, not knowing that this is a problem does not change the fact that it's there. It only changes your ability to do anything about it. I'm going to leave this example for you, It's like a very sugary drink, a poisonous drink, really. But it is coated like it is sugary. It is made to, you're made to view it like it is full of sugar, in fact. Now, before you take that drink, would you not rather like to know that indeed it is poisonous to you? Would you like to just take it thinking that it is sweet, and just when you now take it, you now find out that, oh my God, your belly is ruined, or you're having some issues or something? Would you not rather know the content that you're actually taking rather than be deceived? So it's better to understand what these media messages are actually comprising of, what it consists of, what they're actually trying to make you do, make us all do, every single person. And be aware of that and seek to change that. May the Lord grant us wisdom and knowledge as well. So have a wonderful day. We will continue this next week. Like I said earlier, I'm your host, Bola Jadesola, making you a better you. And by God's grace, we will definitely get there. Have a wonderful day.